Welcome to this John F. Wood Center Makerspace independent learning tutorial. In this video, we will be taking an introductory look at the Singer SC220 sewing machine. We will be talking about the basic setup and use of this model of sewing machine. If you require guidance for a particular type of project, for example, quilting or garment assembly, please consult other resources and tutorials that will go more in depth about the preparation work for that particular project. When using the sewing machine, pick a workplace with appropriate room to accommodate your project as it feeds through. Retrieve the power cable and the pedal. Plug the cable into the sewing machine, then into the outlet. Plug the foot pedal into the port just beside the power port and place it under the table where you can comfortably reach. Then it's time to gather your supplies. Choose your thread from the sewing kit. The threads housed in the kit are sewing threads. The ones that sit on the open rack are for the embroidery machines. You might choose to wind a bobbin of matching color. If your stitch will be visible from both sides, it's a good idea to match it. You can also retrieve other materials and tools such as sewing scissors of various sizes, seam rippers, marking chalk, tape measures, pins, clips, buttons, and more. We have a selection of scrap fabrics, excellent for prototyping and learning. You are welcome to help yourself to our scrap fabric as you like. To wind a new bobbin, follow the numbered directions illustrated by the dotted line. Find an empty bobbin spool. Feed the end of the thread through the hole of the bobbin spool from inside to outside. Slide it down onto the bobbin winder and to the right to switch it into bobbin winding mode. If you press down on the pedal in bobbin winding mode, it will wind the bobbin at a varying speed. Make sure you're holding onto the end of the thread, otherwise the bobbin spool will just spin around without picking up any thread. Once you have wound the bobbin with 2 to 3 layers of wrapping, you can trim off the end you've been holding in your hand. Continue winding. You can hold the pedal down fully and wind the bobbin quickly. It will stop automatically once the bobbin is full. By default, our sewing machines are equipped with the standard foot and standard needle. We have several different feet and needle types for different functions and materials. These components can be found in the slide-out compartment on the left side of the machine. When you start the machine, the display will show you which numbered stitch has been selected. And above that, it will tell you which foot should be attached. J is the default. Before we start, we will load our bobbin into the bobbin compartment. There's a small black trigger that if you pull to the side, the bobbin door will pop open. Place the bobbin into the slot with the thread end wrapping down and on the left. To me, it kind of looks like a P shape. Once it's in the slot, we need to feed the thread underneath this small little groove. The illustration on the bobbin door depicts this. Once wrapped around this component, you can replace the bobbin door and leave the thread end trailing out of the closed door for now. Next, we need to thread our stitching thread. There's a numbered diagram on the machine which shows you where to run the thread. It has a solid line. It is critically important that this step is done correctly as it creates the tension needed to form stitches. Number 3 involves wrapping under and back up, and number 4 involves wrapping wide around this silver mechanism. If you reach step 4 and find the mechanism is not visible, you can rotate the wheel on the right of the machine counterclockwise or towards yourself. This will move the needle bar and move the mechanism back into place. Continue by following number 5 down the groove. You then need to hook the thread behind this small hook above the needle and feed the end of the thread through the eye of the needle. I always trim the end of the thread with the sewing scissors before attempting to thread the needle. Once threaded, we need to summon our bobbin thread. To do so, gently grip the needle thread and then wind the hand wheel on the right side of the sewing machine slowly towards yourself. The needle will drop down into the compartment, and when it rises back up, it should have grabbed onto the bobbin thread from underneath. You can grasp this thread and lay it to the side. I usually do that by sliding a pair of scissors or another tool gently under the needle to pull the threads out so you can reach and arrange them. Now that the machine is loaded, we can lay out our fabric under the needle, keeping in mind that the fabric feeds away from you as the stitches are laid. When you lower the presser foot, the sewing machine will grasp onto your fabric with the feed dog. This is a little set of gripping teeth at the needle plate. Let the feed dog guide your fabric under the needle as you stitch. There's no need to force it through or to pull it tight. When you lift the presser foot, your fabric will free up again. Check your stitch settings. The Singer SC220 has 88 different stitch types and 9 buttonhole settings to choose from. 00 is the basic single stitch, and like many of the simple stitches, it uses the J default foot. You can alter the stitch width and the stitch length using these hardware buttons. When the setting is encircled by an oval, that means that these settings are at their default value. Once you have your stitch selected and the right foot attached, make sure your presser foot is lowered in order to begin stitching. When you start a stitch, it is good practice to reverse and go over the first initial stitches. This locks them in and prevents them unraveling. To reverse, press the little twisted arrow button on the front of the machine. You don't need to hold the pedal for this part. The arrow button will do it. Press down the pedal to go back and continue the stitch. To adjust the speed, you can alter the pressure you apply to the pedal, or you can slide this little mechanism on the front. Left for slower, right for faster. When you reach the end of your stitch, reverse again to lock it in, and then lift the presser foot so you can slide the fabric out. You can use the seam ripper to make corrections or to disassemble a garment. When you are finished using the sewing machine, please turn it off, unplug the pedal and power source, and return all of the equipment to its original storage spot. Thank you for watching this independent learning tutorial. We encourage you to revisit this guide as needed. You can find timestamped chapter bookmarks in the description. And you can check out our YouTube channel for other great instructional videos and more content related to the John F. Wood Center.